In this video, we're going to talk about how to actually crush your goals when it comes to dating, to business, to fitness, to any fucking area of your life, how to actually make sure that you crush your goal, that you finally get there, and that you're able to just take action without procrastinating or letting life blow by and feeling like you're just a spectator without having any crazy results. So I was reading this book by Steve Seibold. It's called 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. And the first thing he says is that the world class operates from objective reality. He says that amateur performers operate from delusion, and pros, champions, they operate from objective reality. You see, most people, they delude themselves into thinking that they're working harder than they are, or that they are more competent than they actually are. And because of this, they don't actually reach their goals because their actions are incongruent with their desires. And since this reality is too harsh, they delude themselves into thinking they're doing everything in their power to get ahead, but they're not. And think about your life. Are you truly acting in congruence with your highest vision that you have for your life, right? And what I want you to do is I want you to make a commitment to check delusion at the door and be honest and ask this question, like, are my habits, my actions, my behaviors congruent with the vision I have for my life? And if it's not congruent, then you have to change this. Anyway, that's a great book. So first of all, I want to start this video by sharing with you a quick story. And this story is a serious story. This is something that happened a few years ago in my life. And I'm sure some of you will relate to that. And honestly, that story is a story that changed the way I look at life. And ever since that event happened, which I'm gonna tell you what happened, it's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I'm here today and why I do what I do and why I have this sense of urgency to accomplish things. So let me tell you the story, okay? Basically, I was around 18 years old. I was 18, 19. And one of my friends who was only 19, okay? He was only 19. I knew him for many, many years. He basically suddenly died, okay? He died. And we weren't like super close to the point where like he was hanging out at my place every single week. But we spent a lot of time together, especially in his remaining months before dying, right? And we went to the same parties, we hung out with the same group of friends, we talked about life, about our dreams, our ambitions, and he was just a great friend, you know? And like a lot of us at that age, you know, he was full of energy, big plans, we were talking about the future, and he was also feeling like he had all the time in the world, and me too. We were both feeling like we had all the time in the world. We were full of energy, big plans, all of that. But one night, everything changed for him. So he was at a party, partying, having fun, etc. And by the way, myself, I was on the plane at that time. I was actually on the plane. So some of you know, I grew up in Tunisia, okay? And this happened in Tunisia. And while I was on the plane, going from Tunisia to back to Montreal at the time, this happened, okay? So he was at a party, and around 2, 3 a.m., he and another friend hopped into a car to head somewhere else, okay? And it was just another night, just another party. In the summer, there's parties every day, just another drive. But the problem is he wasn't wearing a seat belt. And the person who was driving took a turn, and unfortunately, the car went off the road, flipped, and he was just thrown out of the car. Thrown out of the car, no seat belt, blood everywhere. He didn't make it, okay? And as I said, I wasn't even in town that night. I was on a plane, and guess what? When I landed, okay, that was crazy. When I landed, I turned on my phone, turned on the Wi-Fi, and my feed was flooded with pictures of him. Messages saying, rest in peace, life is so unfair, why is God so harsh, blah, blah, blah. And at first I was like, what the fuck, what's happening, you know? And at first I couldn't even believe it. And I never had that in my life, like a friend that I knew like that, you know, just die at that age, you know. But as the posts kept coming in, the reality really hit me, you know, my friend was gone. That's when something started to shift inside of me. I couldn't stop thinking. My mind was racing. I couldn't even sleep that night. And even the next few nights and the next few days were horrible. Like I couldn't even sleep that much. I was always, you know, thinking, what if it had been me? You know, what if, you know, one night, you know, my entire future could be gone just like that, just like him. And I realized at that point that life is just too short and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. I kept asking myself, what had I actually done with my life? I was doing fine in school. I was studying in one of the best business schools in Canada, in McGill University. I have my student card here, you know, McGill University, as you can see. And this is my student card back in the day. I was just thinking to myself, like, what was I actually living for? You know, what were my goals? What were my dreams? What did I want to achieve, you know? And if I was really being honest with myself, you know, I was just waiting for the right time to do what I wanted to do. I was still a student in the matrix, going to business school like anyone else. I was just like a sheep. And I knew that this is not what I wanted. I knew that, like I need to start taking action. I need to get rich. I need to get out of the matrix, get rich, and fucking be free, you know? So that's when I started actually my business that year. I started my first e-commerce store when I was around 18, 19, you know? And that's when I made a promise to myself, I was going to go all in. I was going to stop playing small and invest everything I had into becoming the person I wanted to be. And that's when I started my self-development journey. Like I started buying a ton of books from Amazon. I started listening to, back in the day, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, all these guys. I started, you know, listening to audiobooks on Audible, and there's another app called Scribd. I use those too. And I started studying everything I could on business, fitness, dating, like all the areas I knew that would get me closer to how I wanted to live my life. I would just study those areas, right? And that leads me to why I'm sharing this today and why I'm making this video. You know, most people don't realize it, but they're living as if tomorrow is guaranteed. Like right now, you're probably living your life as if you were going to live another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. But you don't know. Who knows? Maybe you die tomorrow. I hope not, you know? But who knows? Most of you have never seen a dead body in your life. Have you ever seen a dead body in your life? Comment below. You know, I'm sure some of you have never seen a dead body in your life. You don't even think death is real. You don't even think death could happen to you, if you're honest. So, you know, most people are just holding off on their goals, waiting for some magical, perfect moment to start working on themselves, to go all in, to go after the life they truly want. But I'm here to tell you, that moment doesn't exist. You have to make the decision now. And I learned that the hard way. And you have to create your own moment of truth where, shit, I'm gonna start now. And even for dating, like when it comes to dating, a lot of people think that they'll get around to it later. Later, when I'll make more money, when my career is gonna be better, then I'll figure it out. Then I'll start dating. Then I'll start giving myself permission to date again. When everything in my life is perfect, then I'll start dating, right? Bullshit. Most people think, oh, I'll figure it out when I have more time. Oh, I'll figure out dating when I'm a millionaire. But here's the truth. When it comes to dating, waiting only puts you further behind. It only puts you further behind. Every day you wait is another day that you're stuck in the same place, another day where you're getting older as well, because you're not getting any younger than today. Today is the youngest you're going to be starting from now. Tomorrow you're going to be older. 2 days later you're going to be even more old. And every single week and month that passes by, you're getting older. And you only have about 900 months in your life if you live till 80 years old, if nothing happens before, right? Every day you wait is another day you're fucking stuck. And if you're not taking action, you're losing time, and you're losing confidence, you're losing social skills, and that time is huge. This is time that you're not gonna get back. This is, if you're watching this in your 20s, 30s, 40s, these are golden years that you're not gonna get back. And I want you to ask yourself this, like, what if you could start now? What if you could start right now and make a decision that right now is the time to actually make a complete change in your life? What if you could start working on the skills and habits that will actually get you somewhere? What if you start learning digital marketing, copywriting, sales, persuasion, influence, start learning all of these things, right? Advertising online, creating content, and the thing is, you don't have to stay on the sidelines. You don't have to hope for some miracle to happen. You don't have to wait. You can start. I see so many guys, they want to wait till they have their whole life figured out before dating again or before finding a partner. You don't need to. You can start dating this week, today. You can start getting dates, enjoying your dating life while achieving your other goals financially, physically, spiritually. Now, I don't want this to sound like some typical motivational speech because this is real. My friend, I'm not gonna mention his name, he didn't get a second chance. He died. Now he's not here anymore. It's been many, many years. And I decided back in the day that I wasn't going to risk wasting mine. And every day I live is a day where I'm gonna improve myself, get better, and do my best to crush my goals. And obviously, I'm like you guys. I mean, obviously, I find myself scrolling sometimes. I eat some bullshit sometimes. I procrastinate sometimes. Like, I'm human. I'm like you guys. I mean, I'm not perfect at all. Yeah, I could be a lot more productive. I could be a lot more successful. But my message to you is simple. If there's something you want, whether it's improving your dating life, getting fit, or building your dream business, etc., stop waiting. Stop waiting. Invest in yourself. Go after what you want, and don't leave it to chance. Because every day you wait is a day that you're missing out on the life you could be living. Listen, you have two lives. The life you live right now and the life you're capable of living. I don't want you to settle for less than the life you're capable of living, okay? Remember that. You have two lives. The life you live right now and the life you're capable of living if you actually do the work and take action. Don't settle for less than the second life, the life you're capable of living. And look, if you're serious about changing things with your dating, with your social skills, with all of that, I'm here to help you. Whether it's attracting a long-term partner or getting dates consistently or improving your social skills, your confidence, all of that, I can help you with that. I can also help you with business and other things, but my main expertise right now is in the dating space. And I know what it's like to feel like life is just blowing by, that life is just passing by and you're not really getting anywhere. And I know that feeling because I've been there. And I know also what it's like to finally take control and finally get results and have that happiness and that joy that you're actually moving forward in life. And that brings tremendous happiness. So that's my message now. So anyways, without further ado, we're going to talk about the step-by-step framework to finally accomplish your goals and crush this year. So number one, what I want you to do is I want you to reflect, because any valuable insight in life always starts with reflection. So everything starts with reflection and retrospection. If you don't reflect on the past year, then you're just going to repeat the same patterns and the same habits. So just reflect on the past few months. What are the things that you've achieved? What are the things that you've not achieved that you said that you were going to achieve? What made you enjoy work? What habits worked? What habits didn't work? What are the things you need to eliminate? What are the distractions, the toxic things in your life that you just need to remove? Now, that's the first step, reflection. Just making kind of a statement, kind of a balance sheet of what are the things that worked, what are the things that didn't work, what have you achieved, what have you not achieved that you say you'd achieve, and just kind of making a summary of that. Now, number two is knowing where you're going, know thyself. So who do you want to be in the upcoming months and this year? How do you want to live your life? And what do you want to actually do? What do you want to achieve? And so what you want to be doing in this step is you want to brain dump the things that come to mind. Okay, what are some of the things that come to mind when you ask yourself, who do you want to be? How do you want to live? What kind of man you are? What kind of life you want to live? What kind of partners you want to have? Friends, etc. What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What's your goals the next few months? And you can head over to ChatGPT or any AI tool. I also use Claude.ai. That's a great AI tool as well on top of ChatGPT. And you can ask this tool, this AI tool, whether ChatGPT or Claude.ai, you can ask that tool the following prompt. You can say, can you write me a dream day in my life based on the following information I'm going to give you? Be specific. And what you would feed him is you would then feed him what you said about who you want to be, how you want to live, what you want to do. And you just want to write that down in a maybe a Word document or whatever, or your notes, and then you send it to ChatGPT with this prompt, like, can you write me a dream day in my life based on the information? And this is going to allow you to test drive your goals and see if you truly want to live that way, right? And if you don't want to live that way, then maybe go back to your goals and tweak your goals a little bit, right? Tweak them until you're proud of the life you're living, right? Because it makes no sense to live a life you're not proud of living just because you want to achieve some goal. The thing is, it's all going to be dust. It's all going to be dust, everything. You're going to die, everybody's going to die in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, nobody's going to care. It's all dust, right? Your goals are important, but the quality of your life is also very important. Because if you don't want to live that life, like, it's not even worth doing it. And so then what you want to do is you want to create your ideal vision board. So what I use is Pinterest. You can use Pinterest to actually create your vision board. Like, what is, for example, you can say businessman aesthetic if you want to be a businessman, or e-com success aesthetic if you want to have a successful e-com store, or old money aesthetic, whatever, if you want, like old money stuff, right? And you can put like just a kind of a vision board of how your life looks like. You can put beautiful women aesthetic, and then you're gonna have women, maybe that's gonna be the girls you're dating, whatever. That's your vision board, okay? Now, after you do these three things, so number one, you ask yourself the questions I told you about the past months. Like, what have you achieved so far? What have you not achieved? What made you enjoy work? What habits worked? What habits didn't work? Blah, blah, blah. So after you reflect, after you ask yourself who you want to become, like, who do you want to be? How do you want to live? What do you want to do, etc. And after you ask ChatGPT to write the dream day in your life, then you create the vision board. So now after you do the vision board and all the previous things, now it's time for goal setting. So what you want to be doing is you want to create goals for the year for each category of your life. So business and financial goals, dating and social life goals, health and fitness goals, personal and behavior goals. You want to create goals for each area. There's four main areas, right? Business, dating, health, and then personal, spirituality, happiness, whatever, right? So you want to create goals for each of these areas. Now remember that all your goals need to be SMART, meaning they need to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. That's very, very important. So for example, instead of saying, I want to make more money, you can say, I want to increase my net worth by 1 million USD by the 1st of January 2026, 27, 28, whatever the year is, okay? And you want to be specific, like by scaling my business and making smart investments, for example, or by doing XYZ actions, right? It needs to be time-bound, achievable, relevant, measurable, specific. Be specific, give a specific number. Instead of just saying, I want to be more healthy. No, I want to, for example, lose 10 pounds and go to the gym 4 times a week every day for the next year. You want to be very, very specific. Now, if you find yourself having a goal that's a bit shallow, then go to ChatGPT and ask, can you turn my goal and make it SMART? And then you insert the goal. And then you can see how ChatGPT can improve it. But it's important to have a goal that's SMART. Now, the thing is, setting a goal is cool, but it's not what's going to get you there, okay? Because when you set a goal, usually you have this dopamine hit, like, new goal, I'm going to make 1 million, I'm going to make 10 million, whatever. It's a dopamine hit, right? But when you just write your goals without backing them up with a system of habits, you're just giving yourself a dopamine hit without actually giving yourself the chance to achieve them. You're not going to achieve your goals just by writing them. What you need to do is you need to link every single goal to a system of habits. And so what you need to do is you need to link your goal to a system of habits. And basically what a year is, those 12 months, those 365 days, these are 365 opportunities to practice your habits and actions. And only through these habits and only through these actions are you going to achieve your goals. So really, if you don't link your goals to a consistency action, a consistency habit, it's pretty much guaranteed you're not going to achieve them. Okay, so remember that every year you have 365 opportunities to take action and accomplish your goals. But you're only going to accomplish your goals if they are linked to a system of habits and actions, right? So the fifth thing you need to do after you set up your goals is you need a system to track your habits and your consistent actions. So what you want to do for each goal is you want to create consistency actions and habits that you can stick to. So maximum 1 to 3 actions or habits for each goal. Okay, and you want to stick to them. And then you want to use some sort of habit tracker to monitor that. Okay, and you want to every week you want to review your week and see if you performed or not. And you can even give your week a score. I read a book, there's a great book, The 12 Week Year, that shows you how to actually accomplish in 12 weeks what you could accomplish in a whole year. And it's a great book. It shows you that you need to have like a weekly accountability meeting. You need to have accountability partners. Every week you need to score your week. You need to plan your week ahead, etc. And there's different practices, right? But yeah, this is kind of the gist of it, okay? So I just want to sum it up real quick, okay? If you want to really make sure you're going to crush this year, number one, reflect on the past year, retrospect, understand what worked, what didn't work, what you've achieved, what you didn't achieve. Then number two, know thyself, know where you're going, who do you want to be, how do you want to live, what do you want to do, brain dump these things, feed ChatGPT with that, and tell ChatGPT to write you your dream day in the life. Then create your vision board. Then once you created your vision board, then it's time to set goals that would get you to that vision board for each category of your life: business, health, dating, personal, etc. You got to be smart with those goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. And then once you have those goals, you want to link those goals to a habit, an action that you're going to take consistently. And then you want to track those habits and actions every week. Okay, so that's really the best way to plan your year that I've found. And really, planning is not a waste of time. Planning is one of the best ways to step into the new year feeling grounded, in control, and really crush it. So don't feel like you're wasting your time by planning. Even if it takes you a whole day to do all that, it's not a whole day wasted. Okay, you're going to waste a lot more time if you don't plan it. Trust me. Because every single year I say I'm going to plan my year, and I used to not do it. I used to procrastinate on it and then just not do it. But I guarantee you, you're going to be a lot more efficient if you do it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to link a resource in the description that can help you plan your year as well. That really helped me. It talks about the 12 weeks year, etc. I'll link that in the description as well. And also, if you like my content and you'd like to improve your dating life, you'd like to date women consistently, and finally live your dream lifestyle when it comes to dating, like either you want to have multiple options or you want to attract your dream girlfriend, then check out the training in the description, and you can book a call with either myself or someone from my team, and we're going to be going over your situation, your goals, and show you exactly how you can bridge the gap and put the right systems in place so that you can attract, date, and retain your dream women consistently. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe, comment, and see you very, very soon.